Now, this is going to be our last demonstration right here on Crow's screen paint, due to the fact that I think we've done just about all we needed to do to show off which technology is better. Not only that, to show that his screen paint does not fall in the same category as our screen paint, which he kept saying that, you know, he could save you hundreds of dollars, you know, pretty much he has the same thing we have, and that's the reason why these demonstrations had to be done. Now, no way it was done to slander him or tear him down in any way whatsoever. It was just to put it right on the map for everybody to see that his screen paint is not on the same level as our screen paint. Now, the reason why you're seeing that much larger sample sheet there, that's to satisfy some of the Crow supporters that came into our channel saying it's not fair because the sample sheet wasn't large enough and it wasn't a fair comparison. And keep in mind that when you have screens like DMP Supernova and Elite screens, the sample sheet that they give you is more than enough to see the difference between the two technologies. But just to satisfy them also, we decided to bring in a larger sample sheet. And of course, I've turned the lights out so that way you can see the difference between his technology and ours. We'll do it on his playing field. Now, one thing I can say about the Metallica 2.0 is it does have good contrast, but as for white levels, color balance, no, it is, I'm sorry, it's just, for me, it might be for somebody else, but it's not for me. Now we'll come over here and we'll hit, oops, hold on for a minute, I should have went back a little farther on that one, my bad. I'm going to come back here. Like I said, it does have good contrast, but the only problem is, like I said, it's too dark. I mean, you notice our black screen, when matched against his screen, the Metallica 2.0 can produce a higher white level than his screen. You can see it for yourself. I've been about as fair as I possibly can be on these demonstrations by taking his screen and putting it in a dark environment, because I know his screen basically works better in darker environments. Yeah. There was another one. That's the reason why these demonstrations were done, just to show that our screen paint does not fit in your category. So when you come at us by saying that, hey, look, we're saving people hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you don't need to spend all the money for that expensive paint, I have the same thing he has, and you do unfair side-by-side demonstrations, then I have no choice but to do this. Like I said, the larger sample sheet is for those of you that were complaining that the sample sheet we had here was too small. There was another complaint that the screen was brushed on. Well, in the last demonstration, I brushed the screen on and I made it for $12, and you couldn't tell the difference between the brush on and the roll on. Okay, and let's go to color. I have no idea what that sound is and what is going on outside. I mean, you can see the difference. Look at the yellows. It's like somebody was going down my alleyway with a megaphone. That's what it sounded like. And you just see how muddy the colors are. The colors are very, very muddy. Right, let's go back over to, got another scenery right here. You see the angle gain on his screen? See how dark it is with the angle? It's very dark. And that's the difference between your technology and my technology. They're totally two different forms of technology. Totally two different forms of technology. This is a very dark screen paint. It's not that. I'll tell you one thing. It's just confusing because on my screen here it comes up dark. All right. Downstairs, if I put it against the black screen and I put white levels on, the black screen produces higher white levels. Yet the black screen is actually darker than this screen I have up here. Look at the skin tones. They don't even look natural. I'm going to pause it right there so you can see that on that large sample sheet. Right there. See it for yourself. So in no way, on any form, your screen paint is like mine. At all. It isn't. I'm sorry. That's a huge difference right there in skin tone. Just about everything else. All right. Come over here for a minute. I'm done here. So here's the thing. We don't need to do any more demonstrations on your screen paint. As I said before in the last demonstration, these demonstrations were done to prove that your technology in no form was on the same level as ours. All right. Now, I don't know how you're going to take this, I don't know how you're going to handle this, but I would take this as a lesson learned in life, that before you go out and you start slandering someone's technology, before you start going out and saying that, hey, we have the same thing they have, they're scamming people, they're charging too much money, and you start doing unfair demonstrations on your channel, I feel you should do proper demonstrations, because I could easily say don't buy this product, you can make it for $12, you can make it for $20. I could easily say that, but that's up to the customer whether or not he wants to buy it or not. Clearly in my demonstrations I can show the difference between my technology and what's out there on the market. Like I said, I'm not going to put your screen in an environment that it's not going to be able to handle. Let me remove your sample sheets from my screen because I'm done with this. I'm tired of this mess. You know what I mean? I'm a very busy person. I don't have time to come in here and do stuff like this. Really don't have time to be bothered with this. And the fact that I got to take time out of my busy schedule to do these videos because I have an individual. Look at this. The paint doesn't even crack or peel when you pull it off the wall. With duct tape, mind, it's on the wall with tape. So I don't have time to be doing these demonstrations to prove what my technology can do. I think I've done enough in my many video demonstrations on how good my technology is. I think I've done enough on that alone. For somebody to come in here and say out of their mouth that we're on the same level as you, we can do the same thing that you do, and yet you don't follow any of the demonstrations that I do. You don't follow any of them. You constantly do video demonstrations in dark environments and high-end projectors. You don't do anything on our level, but yet you want to come at us as if we're the bad guy, as you're the victim. You're not. You want to claim yourself as the victim? You should have did your job right. You should have went in and you should have basically mind your own business and continue to do what you do. You did 2 testimonies on Facebook, on YouTube, saying that you would no longer be bothered with our company. You're done with us. You're going about your way. You did that twice in a row. I told you in the last demonstration the last testimony you did, I wished you the best of luck. I said the next time you come there and you tamper with one of our product and you basically start slandering our company, I was going to buy your product and I was going to do multiple demonstrations on it, which I followed through and I did. and I did them fair. Didn't do some of the nonsense you did by taking our screen paint, like I said, down to Home Depot and trying to make it. All kinds of nasty curse words and things you were saying about me. I guess some of my family members. Who knows what you were saying in some of those videos. Just the way you carried yourself was very unprofessional. Me talking to you on the phone and having a conversation, you upload my cell phone call, our conversation onto on YouTube. Just this is some of the stuff that you have been doing that has been so immature and childlike. So in this demonstration, all my demonstrations, I basically held back on your screen. I held back. I got some technology here that will blow your screen clean out of the water with no problem whatsoever. That would completely shame your screen. But I chose not to do that. Could have stuck it outside. It wouldn't have survived a minute out there. But I chose to all we needed to do in our demonstration was just to prove that our technology was not like yours. So everybody else can see it. They can see it for what it really is. So, like I said, I hope you take this and go about your business and do whatever you do best and just sell your product and leave it at that. Because technically, if I wanted to be ruthless about this, I could redesign your paint right now. I can go in there, I can recreate your paint. I can upgrade it. I can make it 10 times better than what it is, and I can actually put it against your own paint. But I didn't do that, but I could. So I'm gonna leave this be. Go about your business, enjoy your life. I wish you the best in life. Learn to leave other people alone. Best base about it. That's all the sound advice I can give you. And like I said, I can sue you. I can easily sue you for some of the stuff that you have done. But I chose not to do this because, like I said, I feel your family should not have to be subjected to some of the stuff you have done. So I'm going to leave that alone. Take your screen paint, put it on a shelf. It's going to stay there. And we're not going to do any more video demonstrations on it again. But if you continue this nonsense, then it might end up in other situations. Like I said, that could end up in legal issues. All right? Or actually, it could end up into a legal matter. So just leave it be. And then for those of you who are going to sit there and say, well, you did the same thing to him. No. We did fair demonstrations. We didn't go out and take his paint to Home Depot. You see me take his can of paint to Home Depot and say, hey, this is how we're going to make it. They just see me basically do some of the crazy stuff he's done. No. He's never heard me. I've had conversations with Crow many times on the phone. Not once have you ever seen me take his voice recording and play it up on YouTube. Not one time. I have text messages by him. All kinds of crazy text messages by him. You ever seen me post any of his text messages? I didn't even text any of the emails that he sent us. Crazy stuff. So, like I said, you need to handle yourself in a professional manner. Me, I'm going back to work. I have contracts to get back to. And yes, people who I'm doing business with the contracts are watching these demonstrations, and they said it was about time it had to be done because you were just out of control. All right, that's basically about it. I got to go. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless. And for those of you who say, oh, you're not a Christian because you keep saying God bless, well, let me explain something to you. Christians were meant to be walked over. We weren't. So we are meant to defend ourselves, and we have to. I'm tired. I got work to do. This has been a headache for me. I just want to put this behind me and move on from there. All right, but if you decide to dig this back up again, we will buy another one of your paints. All right, gotta go. Thank you all for your time, and I got to get to some contracts that have to be done.